Hello and welcome back to the Bayta YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about and giving examples of how these 4 business books have helped me working for a startup and with my own businesses. Okay, so the first book is How to Build a $1 Billion App. Now this book was written by George Berkowski, who was one of the product members on the Halo team. So Halo was a taxi app like Uber that was created in London and then was later acquired by MindTaxi or another company. I can't exactly remember. But it talks about how they grew from just this idea of this ride-hailing service all the way to a $1 billion company. Now, if you're building a tech-based business or for any business for that matter, there's definitely super valuable lessons to be learned in here. And as it says, it goes how to build a $1 billion app. So the chapters are labeled the different stages. So from a $1 million app to $10 million to 500 million to $1 billion and everything that's in between. And then it also talks about how to create your first design and mock-ups to take to users and get feedback so that you can iterate and build better products. I think what I enjoyed about this book, not only that it takes you step by step of the process of going from just an idea to actually what it takes on a business and product level to get to a $1 billion app, but it's actually also the use of examples like WhatsApp, Airbnb, Halo, and Uber in this case, that make it so interesting and so applicable. And the 2 massive key takeaways that I've taken away for me looking at future businesses and also in the company that I work at is the value of the 2 key metrics for building a successful app, which can be transferred into other businesses anyway. So it's not just for app businesses. But those 2 metrics are, you have lifetime value and you have customer acquisition cost. Now, the lifetime value is the amount of revenue that you expect to generate from a customer during their life cycle whilst they're buying your product. So let's say it's a subscription product, on average, a customer might stay with your product for 1.5 years. And then for that 1.5 years, they pay £10 a month. So that's 18 months, then their lifetime value is £180. Now, the customer acquisition cost, on the other hand, might be a referral code or a voucher. So they get £10 free Uber ride, for example. That's a customer acquisition cost. Now, in principle, as long as lifetime value is always greater than customer acquisition cost, then you have a successful profiting business. Now, obviously, it does depend on your cash flow as well, but we'll leave that to the side for the moment. So what can you do to either increase lifetime value or lower customer acquisition cost? Well, the book covers this with this R method. Now, this stands for acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and revenue. And all these measures are good to look at to be able to play around with those lifetime costs and the customer acquisition, or lifetime value and the customer acquisition cost. And that's the biggest takeaway that I've taken away. And as you can see on screen here, I did a quick presentation the other day, which was on my Amazon FBA business that I did, and using this AARR method to see what I could have improved to make this store more profitable. So I'll definitely be taking this in the future and using it on different businesses or different projects that I'm on in my work. Next up is Never Split the Difference by Voss. Now, Voss is an ex-FBI hostage negotiator. In this book, he shares learnings for the art of persuasion from negotiating with hostages, from kidnappers, gang leaders, and terrorists. Now, whether it's teasing out vital information from a bank robber or negotiating a salary from your boss, or perhaps it's negotiating down the cost of your goods from a supplier that you're buying it from, this book gives you the ideas and the little nuances of emotions that humans have and how you can use that to get the information that you need. 2 things that I've taken from this book which have been very helpful to me are mirroring and labeling. If any of you have read into persuasion or psychology at all, mirroring is the act of taking the last 2 or 3 words of someone's sentence, and reflecting it, mirroring back on them. So for me, when I'm interviewing candidates at my job, perhaps they're talking about a particular experience and they said, oh, I started a company at university. The thing that I would be able to do to tease more information out, and this perhaps isn't the most intense example, but I just say, oh, so company that you started at uni? And it's that tonality and reflecting the same words back on them because it's evidence they've opened themselves up to it, that they'll then go ahead and explain more information. And labeling is basically going into a conversation and understanding someone's emotional state and acknowledging it rather than let it kind of fester in the air. So if you know you're going into a tough conversation for something, it's labeling it and going, okay, I know that you feel that I am not ready and prepared for this scenario. So let's get that out of the way. And by setting the tone of the conversation, you make sure you're on an even playing field and you're ready to negotiate. And these are just 2 things from the book. I'd really recommend doing it. He's done a masterclass on it as well, so perhaps you can pick that up. But yeah, one of my favorite books that I've read so far. Now, the next book is Work and Life Principles by Ray Dalio. Now, Ray Dalio is the founder of Bridgewater Associates, which is one of the largest hedge funds in the world. I think they have over 160 billion of assets under management. And he started the company 45 years ago and has been through many ups and downs in the economy and also in his personal life. Now, the company today is over 1,500 people, and this book is a collection of principles that he's learned along his journey from going from 0 employees to over 1,500 and taking those principles, putting it into 2 parts. So you have the life principles, what you can do to set goals, decision making, understanding people and being open-minded, to then the work principles. And this is around viewing your culture and your organization, understanding the people there, and helping you view your company as a machine with different levers to pull to make change. Now, my biggest takeaway from the book was Ray's 5-step process to smashing your goals. And I took this process and broke it down for one goal that I had, which is on my YouTube channel, I want to get 1,000 subscribers. So let's take a look. And so for me, I want 1,000 subscribers by the end of May. Whether that's realistic or not, it's a goal I have, it's quantifiable, it's measurable, and there's a clear date. 2, identify and don't tolerate problems in the way. So at the moment, I have 376 as of the time of writing this, and I want to get to 1,000. That's a problem. And I was gaining at a certain rate, and I realized that this is a problem and it needs to be solved. Step 3, diagnose your problems. So I had a look at the current state of play. What are my current analytics? What are my growth rates? What are the problems? And using this problem solving on the right, diving into this and trying to find the root cause, which is covered in the book too, I began to break it down and be able to go on to step 4, which is designing your plan. So this is looking at the evidence that you have, having broken down your problems, and then creating a plan to kill the root cause and be able to hopefully achieve your goals. And step 5 is making sure that you stick to that, creating realistic and measurable goals that you can actually hit. Now, I keep coming back to this book and using especially that goal setting framework and touching on different areas in my work life. It's a book that when I read through the first time was very impactful, but when you come back to it, having lived life and experience a bit more, working in a company now, the lessons here I've actually seen sort of manifest in real life, and I can come back to it frequently and use it to help, guide my decisions. And the last book is The Lean Startup, the fundamental business book to building a company in the modern times. I'm not going to talk about this one too long because there's so much content out there on it, but it's basically, if you haven't read this book and you want to start a company, it's probably the best place to start in understanding lean principles, being agile and creating businesses, not only digital businesses, but any kind of business in the most cost-effective way and the quickest way possible. There's so many different topics that it touches on, from the 80-20 principle, lean manufacturing, how to pivot your business, incremental improvements, continuous innovation. It touches on all of this, and I think it's an amazing book for any beginner, or even to come back and read after you've read it for a few years and having had that life experience to come back to. The Build, Measure, Learn framework in this book is a must read for new entrepreneurs, and I couldn't recommend it more. Okay, so that's it for this very, very quick video. I wanted to keep this one a bit shorter because I know I can talk about these books for so long, but I would highly suggest just picking up one, especially in this time in lockdown now. There's no better time to pick up a book and do something with all the spare time we've got. But it's so important to take what you learn from these books and put it in practice. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying these videos. Please leave a comment below. Give me some feedback. I want to try and improve this channel and hopefully get it growing and making content that you all enjoy. It's something that I really enjoy doing too. So I'll try and keep to the regular uploads. And maybe I can go more in depth on other books, or you can give me your book recommendations as well in the comments below. That would be really cool. Whether it's a business book or not, send me anything. I'm happy to have a read, especially in this quarantine now. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you're all staying safe. Make sure you wash your hands, social distance, and I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy.